Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the A2Z program, everybody. How we doing out there? Hi, Eric here, and we have got a great show for you tonight. We are winging it tonight. We are just going to have some fun. We're going to have some laughs. It's hot outside. Don't go outside. Stay inside. Put us on your TV. And we're making this is our triumphant return here. We haven't been here for a couple of weeks due to holidays, workloads. You know how it goes. We're doing the grind. You're doing the grind. I'm upset. You're upset. Let's all not be upset. Let's all have some fun. And I'd like to welcome everybody to the show tonight. And like I said, it's Wednesday. I'm in New York, and my producer Dave is in Florida. Dave, where are you? Are you here, Dave?
Right.
Oh, there he is. There he is. I forgot, Dave. I did forget to mention that we have a limited live audience tonight. We're being screened,
We do. First time ever.
first time ever. We're being screened actually at a college production facility that wishes to be remain anonymous. They're doing a test study, and they said, you guys do a great show. We want our students to learn how to be, to improvise and to talk, and they want to see how a show's run. And we said, you know what, Dave actually set all this up. It's not me, it's Dave. But it is me, but it's him too. And what it is they just wanted to see how a live audience to show react. So we said, what the heck, right, Dave? We said, we'll do it. We'll do it. We got no problem.
Absolutely. We're always down to be the guinea pigs.
We're always down to be the guinea pigs, and if it's anything that I like better than being a guinea pig, it's a new guinea pig. No, that didn't work. But anyway, guys, we have a great show tonight. We have a great show tonight, and what before we go, or before we hit the pavement, Dave, and get going on this action, uh, I'd like to offer condolences and tribute, if you would, to a fallen comrade. We've had a passing to one of our fellow, actually the boss. The boss lost a family member, his brother, this past week. Daryl Edwey. Daryl untimely and unexpectedly passed away, and we would like to give Steve and his whole family all our best here from the program, and everybody upstate is pulling for you. I know everybody down in Florida is thinking about you, and here at the program, myself and Dave, we just want to wish everybody well and get through this good. And we're so sorry. And Daryl's a good man. Had a small bit of camaraderie with him once in a while on the internet. Real great dude. Steve's older brother. But like I said, keep Steve and his family, his mother, his brothers and sisters, and everybody. Keep them in your thoughts and keep them in your heart. And we're with you, boss. And Dave, that's just sometimes these untimely things happen, and we all got to band together and get through it together. That's how it goes. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that.
No, you're absolutely right. Completely agree. You said it best. Our condolences are with, the boss and his family. It's definitely not an easy situation, and I mean we're here for him at all costs.
At all cost, at anything. So R.I.P. Daryl and the Edwey Faraci family. We're with you 100%. Now, yeah, let's get down to business here. So Dave and I thought, tonight it's hot out. We're just want to sit inside. We don't really want to do anything. We just want to sit and jaw jack on the internet. We compiled a list of pop culture icons tonight. We're going to talk about them and their significance, and are they good? Are they bad? Are they trash? Are they something your grandmother liked? Is it something that you know but someone you never heard of? But I'm sure that everybody's heard of at least. Dave, would you say it's safe to say that probably everybody's heard of at least half of these people, at least half?
Oh yeah, for sure. I would say a good 60-70% at the minimum. You had to have, maybe you can't picture them, but if you hear the name, you're like, okay, I know that person.
Yeah, And there's a few on here that everybody knows, and I'm sure that there's some younger generation people that don't know exactly what they did or what they do. But I guarantee you that everybody has heard of at least like you said, 70 is a good one. It might be a little higher, but 70 is a good one. 70. I actually got through school on 70%, Dave. So it's a good thing I'm not a doctor, because if I were, I would only be responsible for 70% of the surgery. And I don't know, maybe one of your valves in your heart would be fixed, but the other three wouldn't. How many are in a? I don't know how many valves are in a heart. Like 14, I think. Is that right? Am I right? Anybody in the audience know? Nobody. Okay.
Uh,
Chambers.
I mean,
Heart.
C's get degrees, so
C's get degrees. So I would have been the perfect Dr. Eric, I presume. Nobody remembers that, Dr. Livingstone or something. Maybe that's the Flintstones. I don't know. But Dave, let's start out. Let's get right into this. Who was our first pop culture icon on our list? Who did we put on there?
all right. First up, we have an infamous clown,
Oh,
and it might not be the clown you're thinking about.
Bozo the
Oh,
Clown.
come on, it
Bo-
is. Oh, let's see, Mike. There it is.
Bozo the Clown. Bozo the Clown. Does everybody remember Bozo the Clown? I remember Bozo. You got to remember Bozo, Dave. He's. How could you not? It, I mean, he had the big pie head. Like he had a pie head, and he had he had like the receding hairline and a pie head, and he threw the grand prize game. He was, I think, famous in Chicago, and I think there he is. There's Bozo the Clown right there. So everybody getting a good look at Bozo right now. Bozo, remember, he did the grand prize game. He had the old like 40s cartoon that they'd show reruns of. He's a Chicago icon. I mean, he was in other markets. There were Bozos in every. Now the Bozo show is interesting, Dave. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to give you a wrinkle of knowledge. I'm going to give you a wrinkle of knowledge that you probably didn't know. And it is not the fact that I use Rogaine. It's that Bozo. I don't use Rogaine. Maybe I should though. The thing is Bozo was like the wrestling. The Bozo show was like the wrestling territories back in the day. Every region had a Bozo. Like Philadelphia had a Bozo, Boston had a Bozo, like Tampa had one, Arizona had one. But the most famous one was the Chicago Bozo, and he kind of made everything. He brought the Bozo show to the upper echelon of clown entertainment, for lack of a better term. I don't know. Yasmina, where you been? How you doing? Glad you're back. Thanks for joining us. Yasmina, we know Yasmina. She's been on before.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he is scary. He's very scary looking, Yasmina. He's very, very scary looking. And I'm not sure. I don't know if I'd rather have him park my car or, I mean, he's definitely not watching my dog. That's not happening. I'm like, right. The crowd. Well, but it kind of Bozo's pretty tough. I see we got the boss on. Boss knows Bozo. Man, everybody knows Bozo. And wait a minute, do I see Sam in there? Sam, what's
Sam?
up? Sam, you made it. That's awesome. But yeah. So Bozo is scary, Dave, but he's also iconic. Because would you say that he is probably the prototype atypical clown? Like, look at him.
He's when I pulled up this picture, I was like, you know what? I thought that Pennywise was scary, but I feel like I'm more scared of this man.
Yeah, and think about it. He used to be the guy that had these buckets, and he'd give you ping pong balls, and if you made it into the bucket, you got a prize. So he was already like playing like mind games with kids. You know what I mean? Like those scary, like passive aggressive, like, well, if you do this, you get a treat. You know what I mean? It's like, so yeah. So there's why it's probably Bozo responsible for all these nightmares that these kids, Chicago, it's no wonder, okay? I figured it out, Dave. This is why Chicago has such a high crime rate. It's because of this fucking clown. I guarantee it. It's because of this goddamn clown.
He probably is the reason that a lot of people don't like clowns and they're
It
afraid
probably
of
is.
them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would carry a gun to church too in Chicago if I had to watch the Bozo show when I was growing up at 12 years old in Chicago. But I don't know. We beat on. You're gonna say Yasmina says Pennywise too. Yeah, he's. It looks like Pennywise, but now we know where the inspiration for Pennywise came from, and it was
Yep.
a real clown, and he's a creep. So, that's Bozo the clown. Everybody, oof. Other than wanting to go take another shower, I have really nothing else to say about. But no, Bozo's cool. Honestly, if you really look into the Bozo show, it was a really cool show. It was kind of like a really cool, like, variety entertainment show. It lasted quite a while. So, and he's a cultural icon, obviously. So Bozo's cool. But Dave, who do we got next?
Next up, we have the icon of pop,
Oh,
Michael Jackson.
oh, the man himself. Oh, look at him. Now that's right here. This is he was already at the top, and he was like kind of cresting down right here. This is bad, right?
This is
This
bad.
is the
yeah.
bad, and he was bad. Now I like Mike.
No
I
pun
like,
intended on that one.
no pun intended at all. If it was intended, the joke would have actually been funny. So I like Michael Jackson, man. I like his music. I think, it's just my personal opinion, I think that he probably got an unfair portrayal in the media. I'm sure that, I mean, he mentally was probably like 13 or 12 years old himself. So I don't think that he was like this big creep. Because by now he's been dead, what, 12 years? And all there were was allegations. There would have been so much more getting popped up. It hasn't. And I hope these people are happy that they slandered this guy. I mean, do you sleep at night, Mrs. Robinson, or whoever you are? Because, and this poor guy. What do you think of Mike, Dave? You think Mike's cool, right?
So for me, it's always been about trying to see if I can separate the artist from the person.
Uh-huh.
Because yeah, you have the allegations, and some of them were really, really disturbing.
Yeah.
And he was a strange fellow, and it's like you said, I don't think he ever really grew up from when he was a child. Like he never got to have a childhood, so like I feel like that kind of
Yeah.
messed him up. And as a person, I put that aside. As an artist, I think he's all-time GOAT.
Oh, there's no touching him. There's no touching Michael Jackson as far as artists go, like
No,
musical
he's
artists.
inspired so many different artists, just dancing wise, music wise, and it's all like different generations. It's not just the one that came after. It's multiple where they look at Mike and they're like, "Wow, did you see him moonwalk? Like, I want to do that."
Dude, he had Eddie Van Halen play on a song. He had Paul McCartney on multiple songs. And they wanted to play. He wanted Eddie, but like Paul wanted to write music with him. And then like all these dancers that spawned off of all these moves that he does and all these beats and rhythms that because he came up with a lot of the beats. Like he doesn't get enough credit for his music writing, but he came up with a lot of this stuff. And he's just amazing. I mean, you knew he was talented when he was young, but Mike's all right with me, man. I'm definitely into Mike. Hey, Harley. Harley's with us. How you doing? Sam's
Hey, Arlie.
Sam says they then look at Ronald McDonald. Well, Sam, I might make your wish come true later. So be careful what you wish for, because the A to Z fairy might make it come true. So, Dave, who do we have next?
Next up, we have not Ronald McDonald, but another gentleman from the fast food industry.
Oh, really?
That is none other than Mr. And he was played by Mario Lopez in I believe it was a Hallmark movie last year. And it is none other than Mr. Colonel Sanders.
Oh, the Colonel himself. And we're not talking about Dennis Warner. We're talking about the Colonel. Dennis Warner's a
The,
guy who lives in town that we call the Colonel, but
I got you.
unrelated. He might be related to Colonel Sanders. I don't know. But there's Colonel in front of the original Kentucky Fried Chicken. Now, I'd heard that he used to have live chickens out back there, and he would actually go out and kill them and make fresh chicken. Is that true, Dave?
We're gonna have some of the A to Z analysts fact check that.
Okay, because that might be a total lie. I may be making that up, and it's funny that I don't know if I am or not. So the Colonel Sanders, I believe at like 60 years old or something, or like in his late 50s, started Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, he started late. He was a late bloomer. He was a late bloomer. Remember that? There's always okay. Turn back the clock. Let's just take a sidebar here. There's always that person in the family. Like you go to like your grandmother's house, and it's like everybody. Oh, hi, grandma. How you doing? You're like, look, I'm gonna put peanuts on your head. And there's always that one that they're like, so so and so hasn't changed much since last year, and she's like, he's just a late bloomer. You ever hear that one? Like every grandmother and aunt, and they just want to make excuses because the guy's weird or something because he reads Mad Magazine and collects frogs. I don't know, but it's like there's always the late. So anyway, I don't know why I brought that up, other than for probably because I have hidden regression from my childhood growing up. Colonel Sanders started late, and he actually lived to like almost 90, I think, and he spawned
Yeah, he was.
Kentucky Fried Chicken to every frickin' corner in the world. So, how old was he, Dave? Do you know?
When he passed, I'll tell you right now.
Like, I'm going to
Mr.
say
Sanders.
106. Got to be 106. No?
Let's see. So he was born in 1890
1890?
and passed away in 1980. So he passed away at 90.
He was 90 years old.
Yup. But I actually
He
have
just.
some
Oh,
fun
give,
facts that I feel like I had no idea about the Colonel. It's
well,
well,
let's hear a fun Colonel fact. I think everybody wants a fun Colonel fact.
so it's mainly about him starting KFC and him. So the number one was that he opened his first restaurant inside a gas station.
Oh, it was a gas station.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another one was
Not a
that
petting zoo. Not a petting zoo. It
no,
was a gas station.
no, not a petting zoo. No animals were harmed.
No animals were harmed during the making of KFC.
So then another one is that he served in the military, and was an honorary colonel.
Honorary colonel.
Yes.
So he wasn't like Colonel Sanders. He was just like bestowed upon like, oh, okay, wait a minute. He was from the South. He had to be from the South. Had to be from the South, right?
Yes. Well,
Oh, Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, that's not like
well,
above Ohio.
he
But
was he was born in Indiana, Henryville,
Indiana.
Indiana, to be precise.
Henryville,
Yes.
Indiana? That's like the coolest name of a small town I've ever
Yup.
heard in my life. That's a good. From now on, Dave, our show is originating from Henryville, Indiana. That's done. We're moving. We're moving
Henryville,
everything to
Indiana,
Henryville. Now, Dave,
home of
uh,
the Colonel.
home of the Colonel. Dave, someone in my studio had an anecdote, and Lauren, what was it you wanted to add to the show? The KFC movie. Dave just said that Mario Lopez played the Colonel. She's freaking out over here that you brought that up, Dave. She loves it. Yeah, she said it was so great, and she said it was kind of bad, but it was so good.
Oh yeah,
But
I mean it's Mario Lopez. He loves doing those cheesy rolls on Hallmark. So props to him. He's repping the Hispanic culture,
and
being
listen,
Colonel Sanders.
man, I like Mario Lopez. I grew up with Mario Lopez. Saved by the Bell. He's AC Slater. He's cool with me. And props for keeping all the Latinos up and giving us something to look for with him, man. Because Mario's cool with me. Mario is cool with me. I love Mario
Absolutely.
Lopez. I love
So
Mario Lopez.
you would think the first Kentucky Fried Chicken franchise would be in Kentucky, right?
If you tell me it was in like Anchorage, Alaska, Dave, I'm gonna fall out of my chair.
I mean, it's in an area you probably wouldn't think.
I gotta know. Was it Henryville?
It was not Henryville,
Damn it.
but the first location of Kentucky Fried Chicken was in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Mormons eat chicken?
Apparently.
Oh my god! I thought all they ate were like those what's that stuff? That Murphy's oil soap cracker mix thing that they. You ever go in? Okay, I got nothing against religious people and everything, but like when you go in to some of these people's homes, what do they use that makes everything smell the same in every house that you go in? You know what I mean?
I have no idea.
And this is me never being in anyone who's a Mormon's house at all. I've only used the bathrooms at the Joseph Smith stop off in Susquehanna, Pennsylvania, which, by the way, does exist. And by the way,
Susquehanna?
Susquehanna, Pennsylvania. Susquehanna. Say that 3 times with a mouthful of potatoes. Potatoes. Anyway, is my crowd still with me, Dave? Are these guys still alive at this place? What's going on, guys? Let me hear something over there at the unnamed college that we're being observed by. That's it. That's all. That's all I had to do. I appreciate it. We appreciate you guys using us as a control for probably the worst show in history. But anyway, actually, no,
Well,
one of the greatest shows.
I actually got a photo of the first KFC in Salt Lake City.
No, you don't. You do. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll try to zoom in on it for.
There's his face.
There it is. And it says right there, world's first KFC.
World's first KFC in Salt Lake City, Utah. Oh boy. Well, I'm going to get married before dinner. I'm going to get married after dinner. And I'm going to get married after dessert. Because I can have 3 wives and eat chicken. That's what they say. I've heard. They say that when they eat at the KFC in Salt Lake City. It's just rumor. Just hearsay. No, don't beat me up. But it's just, I've heard. But anyway, Henryville, Indiana is the coolest name for it's almost as good as Cincinnati, Dave. Not quite, but it's good. Do you think the Colonel was a polygamous person? Well, okay, I'm going to put on, Dave, to answer this, I'm going to transform into Colonel Sanders right now without the beard. Look, I got the stick. Look, ready? Well, Yasmina, I had me 1 wife and 17 children. And how do people from the South, is that how they talk? 17 children.
Well, remember, he's from Indiana, so.
One day my grandma was making biscuits, and I have no idea if he was a I bet you he was married to the same. I bet you he had to be married to the same person his whole. I bet you he was 90 when he died, right? I bet
No, he had 2 wives.
He had 2 wives. Oh,
Yes.
Colonel, you're naughty. You're naughty like Herky. But wow, Colonel was married twice. No kidding. Not at the same time, though, right? That had nothing to do with the Salt Lake City,
No, he actually had a good chunk of change. So he was married to Claudia Price from 1948 through 1980,
Oh my
and then
God.
his first wife was Josephine King from 1909 to 1947. So he had a year in between wives.
1909. Oh my God. I think he probably had like one of the first apostles to look over his wedding that's so old. Oh my God. It's like, I don't know. Abe Lincoln's in attendance today, folks. Hey, stand up, Mr. President. How you doing? It's like, come on, Colonel Sanders. That's so great. You were right, Yasmina. That's true. You were. But Dave, I've beat up Colonel Sanders enough. I've beat him up enough. I've got to know, Dave, because I forgot, even though my list is right in front of me. I've got to know, and everybody wants to know. I mean, we got people coming up, we got people chiming in, and more viewers coming on. Who is the next pop culture icon on our list, Dave? Who is it?
Well, this next icon fits that moniker very, very well. And we also had a gentleman chime in that, can relate here because we have a certain other show that we talk about icons like this. See you, Timmy.
Timmy, where you been all my life? Timmy.
And that icon is none other than the immortal
Oh,
Hulk
I'm getting the shivers already.
Hogan.
Oh, it's the Hulkster. The Hulkster. Oh, now listen. Okay. There are icons. There are immortals. And then there's Hulk Hogan. That's all I have to say. Oh, hey, Tim actually has. While we're on wrestling, Dave, let's answer this question by our fellow Just Too Sweet co-host. Dave, how do you feel about the New Day being the #1 tag team of all time? I have to ask you here because you skipped Just Too Sweet last night. Oh, jabbing you a little bit, but legitimate question, Dave. Let's lift the veil of A to Z and pretend we're throwing the blanket of Just Too Sweet over it. How do you feel about that?
Well, to first answer that question, it was a pretty rough couple days for me. So yesterday I was completely exhausted.
And I told them too. I told them how much you've been working and how much people have been going on cruises and kids throwing up and everything.
So I do apologize that, and I didn't think that you guys were gonna jump right into the your own top 10. So it kind of took me for a whirlwind when I found out. So how do I feel about them being the #1 tag team of all time?
Yes.
I gotta say, I think they fit them. I think they deserve #1 at this point. They are 11-time tag team champions. They are the longest reigning tag team champions. What they've been able to do to continue to reinvent themselves has been great. Even when a few years back you had Kofi Mania, where Kofi finally won the WWE Championship. They still were a team. They still stuck together, and then that whole storyline was great because, you had Kofi trying to, battle the Vince McMahon, who said, he didn't think that he was worth of a main event shot. And then he says, okay, well, if you can go through the gauntlet, you can go in. So Kofi gets through the gauntlet, but loses the last match to Daniel Bryan. So he says no. And then he puts the New Day. So there was still stories revolving around that, where then he goes, okay, Big E and Xavier Woods, if you guys can go through your own gauntlet, then I'll consider putting Kofi in the main event against Daniel Bryan. And they did it. And it was such a great story that when you see the picture of all three of them with Kofi on their shoulders with the belt, and you just see like Xavier Woods just like almost busting out into tears, you can feel that. And it was such a great moment. It was fantastic. So if you look at accolades, what they've been able to do, keep themselves relevant, and they're still on TV. They're still there. I think I see why they deserve it. I think they deserve it more over like I don't understand how the Brothers of Destruction are a top 10 tag team of all time.
Oh boy, I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense to me. The Rock and Sock Connection, yeah, I get it. They had like a good run and they're memorable, but when you put all-time tag teams against guys who you put together, I don't feel like they can be on the list, just not that high up.
No, and I didn't want the New Day to be #1. I'll give my thoughts quick. And I'm going to be honest with everybody. I haven't taken my ginkgo biloba yet today, so I can't remember what I even said 5 minutes ago. But I think that my top teams were Steiners, Bulldogs, Hart Foundation, Rockers, and Road Warriors, or one of them. But we have to be Legion of Doom because WWE was Legion of Doom. I think that's what mine was. But I didn't have a problem with the Dudley. I'm a Dudley fan, so I got no issue with the Dudleys being #3 or whatever they were.
I don't I think like with those, like you have your Edge and Christians, your Hardys, and your Dudleys. They I don't want to say they put tag team wrestling on the map, but they made it a lot bigger than what it really was. They were easily could have main evented, so many different pay-per-views. Because of them, you have WWE has created a pay-per-view, which is TLC.
Yep. And we
And they
talked
did
about
things
that.
that they did things you didn't really expect. So top 10 wise, I think yes, those three teams deserve to be there for sure.
I agree. I agree with that. Anyway, let's get on to the man who we put on the list for. But Dave, thank you by the way for giving us your insight because
Oh,
and
no problem.
Dave's been working. Dave's been burning that midnight oil. So he and yes. By the way, happy NWO day, 25th NWO for life. And we would not have the NWO if it wasn't for this man right here, the immortal Hulk Hogan. Now, Dave, everybody can say Stone Cold Steve Austin this, The Rock that, Ric Flair this, John Cena that. There is still no one, no wrestler that has packed arenas, sold merchandise, and had the cultural impact that the Hulkster has had. None of them come close. Steve Austin might have sold more Austin 316 shirts. The Rock's movies might have grossed more. John Cena's been in more commercials. But as far as wrestling goes, he put more asses in seats than any of them combined. Am I right or am I wrong?
I completely agree. Without Hulk Hogan, there's no WrestleMania.
There is no WrestleMania. There is no Federation year. There is no Rock and Wrestling. There is no Shoot to the Moon. There is no
And
Attitude.
you probably don't have The Rock, John Cena, Batista being in movies.
No.
Because you didn't really think about that. It was Andre and Hulk that really, were the catalyst into, going into acting and pushing that and being like, we can do something else.
Yeah. It went Andre, Hulk, or Hulk actually was first, I think, in movies. Andre was in a few TV shows in the 70s, but Hogan he was Thunderlips in Rocky 3. So
Yep.
that propelled him. And then Roddy Piper went into They Live 5 years later in 87. Andre did The Princess Bride same year. So those three really are responsible for the rest of the wrestlers branching off in their entertainment and, utilizing it in other places, movies, commercials, TV. But Hogan brought it to a level that will never be surpassed. And Hulk Hogan is the icon. Hulk Hogan is the immortal. Dare I say Hulk Hogan is, as far as everything in wrestling combined, is he the greatest of all time?
I think when you put it all into one scope, you're not just looking at, is he a good worker? Is he a good, like a promo guy? When you put everything together,
Put
and
it
just
all
like
together.
the impact where you hear, his music, the crowd goes wild. To a certain extent, unless you're in Tampa, apparently.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, whether for good or bad, if I mention someone, Hulk Hogan, they're gonna know who it is.
100%. And he's not been without controversy. And we know that there's been some videotapes out there. There's been some audio tapes out there. The Hulkster is a human being who probably did some things and said some things he absolutely shouldn't have. But we as humans forgive. And I forgive you, Hulkster, because I believe in you, man. Because like Booker T said, he goes, dude, when you walked into a room or Hulk Hogan, you were in a room and Hulk Hogan walked in, he goes, you don't get chills like that from meeting the president or meeting the Pope. He goes, Hogan is on a different level than everybody. Like he just said, you just literally like shake when this guy's around, and that's special. That's special right there. He might be the greatest cultural icon we have here, Dave. I'm just telling you, he might be. Although we do have some pretty prolific people here on our list, but yeah, the Hulkster. I don't know. There's nothing else you can say, but he's the greatest. He's the Hulkster.
He is.
Terry Bollea, Hollywood, The Hulkster, Hulk Hogan. Thank you, Hulk. Can we all just agree? Can we all agree? Everybody in the audience, what do you think? I want to hear it. Is Hulk Hogan the greatest of all time over there at the college here? Give us a reaction. Yes. Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Thank you. Dave, we got such a great audience here. I can't believe we're test subjects for this. This is so great.
I know, this is
This is
fantastic.
it's unbelievable. And I didn't even have to like bribe the professor to get anything on that. He actually paid me. No,
Yeah, no one's getting extra credit. They're
no
here
one's
because they
getting
want
extra
to be.
credit. Yeah, no, this is a learning experience. You are learning how to podcast, video cast, and do a show. This is how you do it. You wanted the best there is, you're looking at the best there is right here. So anyway, Dave, who 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 is next? You like my owl imitation? Um
I thought it was a
who
New Day imitation. I was excited for a second.
uh, you know what? We can call it a New Day imitation too. We can do that because I'll jump on the bandwagon. They're good. They're pretty great. But Dave, who is next on our list?
All right, next up we have another musician,
Really?
and it is none other. It's just the one gentleman, even though, we could have put his group in here as well. It is none other than Mr. John Lennon.
John Lennon himself. Oh, John gets a round of applause. Wow, John. Now, Dave, it's customary that I always do a north or a mid England, like northern mid England accent when I like the Blackpool, not Blackpool, Liverpool. I always do the accent when I talk about anyone, so I'm gonna throw that in periodically for you, Dave. I'm talking about John Lennon. Oh, it's easy if you try, Dave. Give peace a chance. Yeah. I know. I'm sorry, everybody. Sometimes it's sometimes I get it right and sometimes I don't. You know what's funny, Dave? Is as Lauren and I watched the serial killer documentary about Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. And
Okay.
before I go on, this guy is effing bad. Like I didn't know how bad he was. He was bad. But why we laugh at this is because when he came, he had groupies. The Night Stalker did, and when he walked out to his like hearing, he had like Beatle hair and like he had on like a Beatle outfit. So I'm like, oh, it's Richie. Oh, he looks like a Beatle. So that's kind of became the. So Richard Ramirez, he was the fifth Beatle all along. Who knew? I said, Ozzy. Oh, I can't believe it. Anyway, but
Yeah, I was gonna say you sound like you were going to a little Ozzy into that one.
I went from John to Ozzy, which I guess when you're on an acid trip, isn't hard to do. Which I'm not. I'm saying they were, not me. I'm throwing them under the bus, not myself. No, John Lennon, I'm going to give him his props because my buddy Frank is a giant Beatles fan, and I absolutely don't. I like the Beatles, okay? I think a lot of their songs are fun. I'm not a John Lennon fan. I'm a Paul McCartney guy, and everybody gives me shit for that because I'm a big Paul McCartney and Wings fan. I'm a Paul McCartney fan. I think I love all of his music. I'm not like the guy from Office Space that get crazy like they do with Michael Bolton. Like I celebrate his entire catalog.
Michael
I don't.
Bolton.
Remember that, Michael Bolton? Is that your real name? Is Eric your real name? You'd be surprised how often I get asked that. But no, John Lennon has his place, not just for marrying a psycho bitch Yoko Ono. He what did he do, Dave? Did he reinvent songwriting? And did they baseline the hook for a rock and roll / R&B? Because their music kind of goes wavy. Like you get some psychedelic here, you get some bubblegum pop here, you kind of get some bluesy stuff here, and some of it almost sounds like big bandish. So I mean, they kind of throughout their short career went the spectrum. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That they definitely were all over like the spectrum. Like with the songs, like you had something that maybe you didn't like Hey Jude, but you might have liked like a Yellow Submarine, like things like that where you can like, okay, I like this. I might not like this one, but they made this and this is cool because it's a lot different than this.
Yeah, Dave, I got to know. I got my Colonel Sanders cane here. David, I have got to know. I'm going to ask you a question. What is your favorite Beatles song?
Ooh, favorite Beatles song?
That's a tough one, right?
Wow, that is a toughie.
It's almost as hard as biting into my Aunt Clarice's meatloaf. That was tough. That was really tough.
Oh, favorite Beatles song? Darn it.
Hmm.
I don't know. I did like Hey Jude, but I
Hey
wouldn't
Jude
say it
is
was my
good.
favorite. Uh, I'll go basic here. I'll say I want to hold your hand.
I love that song. I love early
That song's
Beatles.
amazing.
It is. I love early Beatles. I'm a giant early Beatles in my life. Good. Yasmina,
Yep.
that's good. That's a good one. Um, I like the one. She was just 17. You know what I mean? You remember that one? That's a good one too.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. And the way she looked was way beyond compare. I love that song. So I like the Beatles, man. The Beatles are great. Strawberry Fields is a good one. Lauren actually, she's very good at puns, and she works at a farm, and like she makes puns about vegetables all the time and produce and stuff because a produce farm. And she actually used Strawberry Fields in one of her posts on North Windsor Berries where she works. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, that's leading nowhere. So I'll keep going about John Lennon. Um, so John Lennon, like, okay, Yoko, you're a fucking psycho bitch. You break the Beatles up, but you go on to let Paul McCartney make all this beautiful music. Ringo actually made some really good. So George Harrison, by the way. I got my mind set on you. Right? That was great. That was a great song. So was
Yes.
what Ringo sing? The
And
Octopus
well,
Garden?
today is Mr. Ringo's 81st birthday.
No.
Yep.
Today's Ringo's. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, hang on, everybody. Okay, everybody in the audience, everybody at home, everybody, please. On the count of three, I want happy birthday, Ringo, and I want a big round of applause. Ready? One, two, three. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday, Ringo.
Ringo. Let's hear it, everybody. Thank you. Ringo Star. Ringo Star. That's right. Oh, come on. Those simple but like really groovy and hooky drum beats. Like, oh, Ringo is awesome. Ringo is awesome. Thank you, Ringo. Thank you, John. This is great because I don't like John Lennon. I think he's a punk. But I'm glad.
So
I'm
but do you consider him then a pop culture icon?
absolutely 120% he is a pop culture icon. John Lennon is like he's on the Hulk Hogan level of being known. You know what I mean? Like there everybody on our list is fairly, you're going to know as soon as you hear their name. But you got guys on here like Hogan and Lennon, and there's a couple more that are pretty big. But like you just instantly know, like you say John Lennon, and everybody thinks, oh, imagine there's no heaven. And then just everybody Hulk Hogan, everybody's just like, well, you know something, brother. They everybody knows that. Everybody knows John Lennon. But yeah, 100%, Dave. He's a pop culture icon. Um, they haven't made a Funko of him yet. He really is. Thank you, Yasmina. He is a punk. Thank you for agreeing with me because I just never, mm, I never got it. I never got it. Lisa, he was so Lisa. He was. I gave him the props. He's from the songwriting to the simplistic,
Yeah. Like
but
an
like
artist, he was
as an artist, he was
top tier.
phenomenal, phenomenal. Pop culture icon, 1,000,000%. But as just a regular dude, I think he's a punk, and I don't wish he was shot. I think that sucked. But no, I'm not. I'm a Paul McCartney guy, and I always will be. He is iconic. He is. Like I said, he Hulk Hogan, and there's one more name on this list, maybe two. definitely one, possibly two that are on that tier, and they're what I call
I,
like the big four of
I would
idea.
agree too, and I think I mean with the I've seen the names, so no spoilers here. But from some of these, like not the next one, but the one after, I feel like in his own field, he's iconic for sure. Like he
I
is
got
your
to
top
agree.
guy. Where you again, it's one of the we'll talk about it in a bit. But next up, we have another musical artist, and there's none other than Madonna.
Oh, Madonna herself. Now, this is interesting because Madonna came from a very strict upbringing with brothers and shit. Like she had like what maybe one sister, but like this girl like literally like just sung her way in New York City up to the top, and she just exploded. And then like remember she moved to England like for like 4 hours, and she had like
She
she
got
had
an
a
accent
British
out of
accent. Yeah,
nowhere.
out of nowhere she got off the plane and like walked into like Piccadilly Square. She's like, "Oh look, oh a bouquet of flowers," and I'm butchering a British accent deliberately because that's probably what I mean. There were interviews with her doing it, and it's like, okay, Madonna, like just sing like a prayer or get into the groove. Don't pretend you're British because you're not. You know why would you want to be British anyway? And Lisa remembers her cone boot bra. Well, my God, everybody does. That was I remember that. Remember Vogue? Remember the video for Vogue? How cool that was. You ever
A
see that,
lot
Dave?
of her videos were very
Provocative,
risque.
risque. But Vogue was cool, man. Like that whole like choreographed like whatever thing. Like I'm not doing it right, but
Well, you know what? I think I know someone who can
who
do it
does?
right though.
Do you know? Is there? Wait a minute. Is there somebody knocking on the door?
You
We have
already
a
know there is.
we have a guest. Okay, okay. Everybody at home, everybody in our studio audience that's joining us here tonight. I would like you to welcome with open arms, and this is how you introduce a guest. Please welcome everybody, the co-host of the Just Too Sweet show, the co-host of the Empire 161 show, the co-host of one of four of the We Stomped You Out show. Ladies and gentlemen, he's my friend. He's going to be your friend. He is none other than Dave's spiritual mentor, Tim Tabala. Everybody, Tim Tabala, come in. There he is. Get him. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. How
I'm
is he
voguing.
getting how
I'm
is he getting
voguing.
a bigger round of applause than I get? I'm the host.
Oh my
You
God,
guys
look how bad
throw,
my hair is.
what did you guys like throw me in the dunk tank already? Oh my God. No, Tim, it's great. They love you. The audience loves you. We love you. Tim, are you gonna vogue for us? Are you gonna look at you doing the hair and everything?
Well, I just got out of the shower. I was listening to you guys in the shower, and then I was like, "Well, I got to jump on real quick with two very important notes before you
Let's
got too far away."
Where we got
Uh-oh.
too far away. Well, Tim, we will pause on Madonna, and I will give you the floor. The floor is yours, sir.
Well, first of all, the hell of Madonna. I mean, old Madonna's cool. Old Madonna, fine.
Yeah, old Madonna's
2000,
great.
2000 on, just all right. Enough already. But
You mean like armpit hair, Madonna?
yeah, enough of that lady already. I've had enough of her.
I don't mind that, but anyway, go ahead.
No, I want to chime in about. First of all, yes, Eric. This is why we're friends. McCartney better than Lennon, all the way, all the
100%.
way.
100%.
And early Beatles much better than later Beatles. I don't understand your fucking walrus submarine trippy acid songs. I rather have I want to hold your hand, love me do, all those great
Yeah,
songs. Way better
100%.
Agree.
than the octopus in your backyard. Whatever the hell that fucking song is, Strawberry Fields and all this other nonsense. So yeah, and the other point I wanted to make real quick is anyone who's saying that Hulk Hogan is not an icon just based on what he's done recently is horse shit because he is the Babe Ruth of professional wrestling, and I'll tell you why. Thank you. No,
I agree.
I know.
I agree.
And I'll tell you why. Because he, just like Babe Ruth, people hit higher averages than Babe Ruth. They've hit more home runs than Babe Ruth. They've done better things than Babe Ruth. But he did it at a time where he was better than every other team in the league. He did shit no one's ever seen before. He sold out. They had a stadium built for him because they could not contain his fans.
The house that Ruth built.
Yankee Stadium,
The house that Ruth
WrestleMania.
built.
WrestleMania is the Yankee Stadium of wrestling, because you had to build this giant thing to get these fans in to see Hulk Hogan. So that's all I wanted to say.
Did
Hulk
everybody?
Hogan is the Babe Ruth of wrestling, and he deserves to be.
Tim,
Stop.
Tim, I couldn't agree with that more. Thank you, everybody. That Tim deserved that round of applause. Did everybody see me knock my microphone over while I was voting?
It's all
That
right.
was awesome. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that in the audience? No. What are you guys getting quiet on me now? Come on, everybody. Do I got to just do handstands and suck root beer through my nose again? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe I sucked the life out of the room with my voguing.
I don't think you did. No, this is a good audience, Tim. They're a really good audience. They're all wearing funny, like Groucho Marx costumes, but I don't know. What if that's like something against me? I don't know. But
That's odd.
that is odd.
No, but I gotta get going. I just wanted to pop in real quick.
Tim, we're glad you did.
And say have a good show and all that good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dave. By the way, I don't know if you heard yesterday, but we're going to do a crossover maybe with one of the other shows. We're gonna review and take a deep dive into the movie known as No Holds Barred. So be prepared to watch that mess. That mess. Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna. Oh my God, and you know what? It's gonna be a treat because I have not seen that movie probably since 1989.
You're going to hate every second of it, but it's going to be worth it for the show.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's going to be great. So we'll figure out the correlation, and we'll figure out which show that we're going to connect with and do it with. And when we do, we will bring it all to you at home and you here and you out in cyberspace. So we will do that. But until then, Timmy, thank you for coming on. Let's give Tim Tamala a round of applause, everybody, please. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, they love you, Tim. All
right, guys. Have a good show. See you guys later.
Thank you very much for popping in, Tim. Thank you very much. That was great. Hey, that was good to have Tim on. And you know what? We can just skip Madonna now because I think I got excited when you mentioned this next guy that we're going to do. So I'll bullshit for a minute while you prepare yourself for. Now, it's interesting that Tim brought up an interesting anecdote. I bet you that's in. Do they still have vocabulary class in school? Are there any teachers out there that can help me here? Did you still make kids look words up and spell them out? Am I just making this up? I don't know. Did I not?
I used to do that too. You used to have to write them like 5. We'd have a vocabulary list. Have to write it 5 times. Write a sentence with them.
I think that would be the ultimate punishment. Like, forget grounding your kids. Forget like taking away their Nintendo and their Xbox. Parents should make their kids write words out like anecdote and Susquehanna and all that stuff. They should make them like do a comprehensive, like they should pick like 50 words and be like, okay, well, you're late. Well, I want you to write this word, all 50 of these words 50 times each. And I guarantee you that kid will never be late again. Unless he's attending a wrestling match. But anyway, Dave, who do we have next on our pop culture icon list?
All right. Well, next up we have a gentleman that, I don't want to say I look up to him, but for what he's done in the industry, one of the industries that I would like to get into, he's revolutionized it with what he did.
There's no doubt.
Radio.
No doubt.
And I feel like, my introduction doesn't do this man justice, but it's none other than the iconic Howard Stern.
Howard Stern. Oh my God, Howard Stern. Listen, wait a minute. I gotta do it. I've got to do it. It's I'm showing my gratitude, and I am bowing down to the man himself, Howard Stern. Dave, I agree with that because Howard not only revolutionized radio, he revolutionized how radio is produced. He revolutionized content. A lot of people don't realize that content, and he's the man. He is the king of all media. And there's no argument with that. You can like him, you can hate him, you can whatever, but you cannot deny that Howard is number one. Cannot deny that. You cannot deny that. Dave, were you a Stern fan pre like Sirius XM, or did you listen to him when he was on terrestrial air, extraterrestrial air,
Yeah,
aliens?
actually, yeah. And the only reason I would hear it is because of my brother. So a lot of the times that I remember would be like driving up to like Orlando, and we would leave here. It's a 4 hour drive from where I live. So we would leave around, let's say, like 4 or 5 in the morning, so that we can get there when the park opens and go straight to, Disney or wherever we were going.
Hmm.
So that's exactly when they would play him, early morning, like 4 or 5, and we'd just be hearing him. He's just entertaining. Like, I don't know, it was just so like, wow,
You
uh,
got the whole
this,
ride with Howard
yeah, the
Stern.
whole ride, and it's just like it went like nothing. Like, you're just like, wow, okay, man, I can't wait for them to come back and see what they say next. And it's just funny when they have a
Oh,
guest. Like, he's one of the best like guys to like interview someone, because he doesn't hold back. He's not
oh
afraid of
no,
like. And at this point, you know what you're gonna get with him.
you do
He wasn't afraid of pushing the boundaries, and I
not
love
at all.
that because I feel like that's so important. You can't just conform to like different ideas and just be like, okay, no, it's not what I can't ask them because I'm either afraid or you know they don't want to be asked. It's like, you're a public figure. You should that this is going to be asked of you,
Mhm.
and I love that.
I do too. I do too. And he's still funny, and he still has funny. At least I don't disagree. He does seem like a douche canoe until you watch the movie about him. Yeah, he really
That,
does.
and
And
that
that
too.
just go.
I remember watching that movie as a kid, and I probably shouldn't have, but it was still great.
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. And it's like any personality. Like I don't act like this in real life, not often, really. In certain places, okay, so maybe I do, but no, I don't. We all have. I mean, we're an entertainment. We're an entertainment network, Pop Culture Pros. Um, Obviously, I amplify my already larger than life personality that I have on here than I really do in real life. I mean, I don't like insult every old person that walks down the street. I don't pick on everybody that I run into, and I don't. I do. I'm kidding. I do, but no. Seriously, we all have our yin and yang, and we all have. But Howard's a real dude. Howard's a real person. He's not the shock jock guy when he leaves. And everybody seems to forget that, like that we're we're real people and we have feelings. Oh boy. Anyway, no, but Dave, I agree with that. Howard is one of he on the list so far. Oh, on the list so far, Dave. On the list so far, do you agree? The two biggest icons so far are Howard Stern and Hulk Hogan.
Let me look back to
Backtrack a
this
little
list
bit.
very quickly.
Backtrack a little
So,
bit.
just so everyone could be recapped on who's been on the list thus far,
Yes.
we have Bozo the Clown,
Bozo.
Michael Jackson, Colonel Sanders,
Yeah,
Hulk
yeah.
Hogan, John Lennon, Madonna, and Howard Stern. And I will say yes, and I want to add Michael to that, MJ.
You know what? Yeah. Yes. I'm going to add Michael to that too because you're right. I agree with that because um, Michael Jackson is just bigger than all of it. I can't agree on Lennon. Oh no. No, not here. We're throwing Lennon to the dogs.
Oh, and
Michael,
Michael
we're
too.
keeping Michael. Definitely Michael. Hogan, Michael, and Howard Stern. I agree that John Lennon is iconic. I just think he's a dickhead, and I'm never gonna not think that. And Yoko is like the. I had a good comparison for Yoko, like, and I can't remember what it was, but it'll come to me as we're going down these lists. And speaking of lists, Dave, it is my understanding that you have another icon waiting in the in the don't you love it when I stutter in the midst. So, what about Yasmina has a good question. What about Danny Elfman? He's pretty iconic. He scored Batman, all the Batman movies. He scored Beetlejuice, every Tim Burton movie really. So hey, good um extra like honorable mention. That's what that is.
Absolutely. Completely
Honorable
agree.
mention. Honorable mention, Danielle. And by the way, quick, I played Lauren a song the other night by Oingo Boingo, "The Dead Man's Party." If you've never heard that, dial it up on YouTube and listen to it because it's phenomenal. Oingo Boingo, that was his band.
Boingo, boingo. All
David,
right.
you'll
Well,
love it.
next up, we have someone that was mentioned earlier in the comments, and it's
Sam.
another It's another. Yep. It's another fast food gentleman,
It is.
and it is none other than the Golden Arches, the Mackers himself, Mr. Ronald McDonald.
Oh, Ronald McDonald! Oh my God! Look at him. How can you not be happy when you see that guy? Look at him running. He's like, look, hey, Happy Meal. What's he saying there, Dave? What do you think he's like actually saying? Like, what do you think they're telling him to say? Ronald, say French fry. French fry.
Buy my McNuggets.
McNugget. Lawsuit. Hot coffee. That's I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Ronald is definitely, I know from at least my childhood, I remember him a lot. You know, going there, even if they would do something, it was funny, back as a kid, you know, they would do parties at McDonald's, like birthday parties. Like my first birthday party was at McDonald's.
Dude.
And, you know, you would have, you know, Ronald McDonald there and like, you know, all these like different little things, like cake, nuggets, Coke, all these things. And,
dude,
you know,
it was
for
the
me,
place
he was,
to go.
Yeah. He was iconic for sure.
It was the place to go. And dude, you remember McDonald Land? Like if you got to a retro McDonald's that still had all the shit outside, like the Big Mac cop and Mayor McCheese.
Mayor McCheese.
Is there any cooler character in fast food continuum than Mayor McCheese? I challenge anybody out there. I want to hear, audience, what do you think? Is it the Burger King or is it Mayor McCheese? Okay, Burger King. Let's hear Burger King. I hear nothing but crickets. Mayor McCheese? Ooh, they're agreeing. Thank you. They're agreeing with the AZ. Mayor McCheese. Dave, how cool of a character? Real quick, how cool is Mayor McCheese?
Well, honestly, I think all their characters were pretty dope. Like I loved Grimace.
Grimace is great.
I didn't know what he was. Was he? I know he liked milkshakes, but he wasn't a McNugget. But like, what was he? Because then you had everything that kind of like went like adjacent. So you had like the McNuggets, the little McNuggets. Then you had the Hamburglar.
The Hamburger. Yasmina mentioned the Hamburglar down there.
There it is. And then you had the fries, like little gang fries.
Yeah, little gang. They like come and like beat Ronald up and take his fries or whatever. Like, was that a precursor to what was going to happen in like L.A. and all that before? Like, did McDonald's like foreshadow the gang violence with French fries? Ooh, AZ came up with a little conspiracy. But no, McDonald's was the coolest place to go to because listen, man, you got the coolest freaking Happy Meal in the world, and all the toys were like gimmick to what was hot at the moment. Like there were He-Man toys, there were Hot Wheels, there were Transformers,
Ninja Turtles,
Batman, like whatever it was, dude. You wanted to take your mom to take you every week, like I want another Batman toy. I didn't get the Joker. You know, it's
because there would be different ones, so you would want to collect them all.
100,000 million zillion %. And you want to know how much those toys are worth now? Some of those McDonald's collectibles, like I'm pretty sure I could buy like a Walmart Plaza if I had like a 3-year worth collection of them.
It's so funny. I remember back. It felt like an impossible feat when 101 and 102 Dalmatians would come out, and they would have 101 different Dalmatian toys. And it was like impossible to collect because you can go to McDonald's 3 times a day. Most likely you're going to get the same damn toy because they stack them all up in there. And it's just like, right, yeah, this time you're going to get, the one with the little car. And then there's maybe one with the little shoe or something like that. But you're probably going to end up getting the one with the car again.
So what they would have had to have done. Now, I'm not a math expert. But my thinking is is they would have to have had a 100 boxes with 1,000 different toys in each one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's every goddamn McDonald's. So there is our first torture in pop culture history. The people from McDonald's were like, "Huh, these son of a bitches want to collect." I can see that big fat guy, like with like his hair parted, and he's got like that green suit and a cigar. Let's see those. They always say "son of a bitch" and "God damn it, God damn it." But I bet those son of a bitches will never collect all of these. You know what I mean? And so like you got all these kids out there, like they're like, "Lisa, I'd like more." And it's like they're sitting there, their mother's like freaking out, like she's probably having another kid, and like the dad, he doesn't even want to be there. He's out in the car smoking, and like the kids just sitting there. He like, I just want one of the Dalmatian. That's all I want. And the McDonald's lady's like real bitchy, going, "You can't have it now." And that's how it went down in AZ land. Is that an accurate depiction, or I mean, did I just like give somebody regressed pain in their mental?
I think it was an accurate depiction, because then for me, I'm thinking about the when they had the Monopoly game that apparently was a big scam, because the guy that was in charge of it, was able to sell those things to like people from like the mob and like whoever was giving him enough money to win.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the mafia was involved with that big time, and so was it yeah. God, I want to say, wasn't the Catholic Church involved with that somehow too?
Well, there's a documentary that's on, I don't want to say HBO Max. It's on one of those streaming services, and they talk about like how they got a tip, like FBI got a tip that the McDonald's thing was rigged, and then it took them a while to like kind of like actually act on it, but they ended up going, and you find out the exact thing that the guy would do, how he was able to get the pieces and then start selling them to people, and how he conned a lot of people as well.
Holy shit. That
It's
whole
fantastic.
Monopoly thing was a fucking scam. And
Yup.
Dave, I looked so forward to it because I would always get like Park Place the first time I went there when they were doing it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to get Boardwalk. I know I'm going to get Boardwalk. And like every time you go back and buy like 17 things of fries, when you get like St. Thomas Place and the Waterworks and all this other shit, and you never get Boardwalk. But yeah,
Nope, never. You never. I mean, I've never was able to complete one land on Monopoly. I would
no,
always get the same ones, and maybe like a free medium fries, a free ice cream cone if the ice cream cone machine was working. Just a bunch of those.
and always isn't that funny? We even went to McDonald's. Well, she did. I wanted to go to Tim Hortons, and of course we go to McDonald's first. That's just how it goes. But she wanted to get a frappe, and first of all, if anybody knows what a frappe is, unfriend me. And second of all, no, we went to get a frappe. She likes those things, and we pulled all around. And first, like it looked like Beirut when you went over around the drive-through, because it was like all dug up and like construction equipment was turned over, and like you could hear this little like faint like from this rusty pipe coming out of the ground, and Lauren was like, she's like, "Can I get a blah 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 flap blah blah flap blah 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 frap mochajana key chukalaka whatever," and they're like, "Oh, our frappe." So we like literally drove through a war zone and like a protected wetland, and probably like we violated airspace to get there too, and just to find out that the frappe machine didn't work. So we should have. And the moral of the story is, kids, remember this. Write this down, students out there. Write this down. Always go to Tim Hortons first, and that's all I have to say.
Well, it
about
depends
that.
where you live, because I have no Tim Hortons down here in Miami.
You have a Starbucks?
Yes.
Go to Starbucks.
Or I can just go to Dunkin'.
You can go to Dunkin'.
Dunkin'
Dunkin's,
coffee.
Dunkin's a go-to. Dunkin's a go-to. What is Lisa calling what down there?
She says Starbucks. That's what she was saying.
Starbucks.
Yep.
Oh, she must have misplaced the J and the K. You know what? I
Alright.
just noticed that they're next
What?
to each other on the keyboard. Remember we were talking about typing earlier,
Oh yeah.
and I can't do it. But yeah, Starbucks is. Excuse me, Starbucks is great. But Dave, we've bullshitted enough about this. We have another pop culture icon in the batter's box, and who is it?
All right. Well, this one is full of plastic. It's fantastic. And no, I'm not talking about Barbie, but it's a rather new, iconic pop culture star, and it is none other than Miss Kim Kardashian.
Oh God, I can't. Uh, I mean, I can't believe that we're mentioning Kim Kardashian on the A to Z program. But she's infiltrated every single source of media, podcast, and here we are. Yeah, I agree. That's what we got here. It's Kim Kardashian. Okay, to be fair, that show's been on for like I don't know what 18, 20 years.
I mean,
Um,
she's made a name for herself. It's one of those where you can't really go, like you can mention Kim Kardashian and people are gonna know who she is,
you know,
whether it's for how she first got famous or what she's doing now, who she's married.
I honestly think something, Dave, and I just came up with a kerfuffle in my cerebris meritorum or whatever you call that part of your brain up here. Um, if you say Kim Kardashian, it rolls off the tongue rather smoothly. So she has a pleasantly enunciated name. Like it's pleasant to say Kim Kardashian because I'm going to give you guys a little Star Trek jaunt here. Now, I just I've kind of been a closet Star Trek fan for a while, but I just kind of put it in. I regress those memories in the back of my mind. It's probably why I don't have any hair back here, up here. Um, don't believe the hype. It's not. It's not genetic. It's something to do with Star Trek, the Kardashian. Okay, anyway. So in Star Trek, there is a race of aliens called the Cardassians. Okay. Now these obviously were made up well before anybody knew what the fuck a Kardashian was. And they're really creepy. They have like big necks with scales, and they're like mean, evil bastards. So they kind of go hand in hand with the Kardashians themselves. But anyway, I noticed that they were called Cardassians, and I thought at first, before I was reading the subtitles, I thought they were saying Kardashians, and I'm looking at Lauren and I'm going, Kardashians? She goes, no, Cardassians. And I'm like, oh, Cardassians. Then I looked to see how it was spelled. It's differently. But while I was watching that and doing that, I thought, that's pleasant to say, Cardassian. I'd be like, I'd like walk into a convenience store. May I have a medium Cardassian to go, please, in a bowl or in a cup? That's kind of nice to say. Or like, oh, or you could say, Dave, you wore your best Cardassian out today. Jolly good old boy. It's like, but it's fun. It's fun to say. It's fun to say Kardashian. So Kardashian, Kim Kardashian, she has to have a marketer thinking like, hey, you could make yourself billions and billions, which by the way, I believe she used to get like 20 grand each tweet from
For
somebody.
whatever she sponsored or like
Yeah,
threw
she
a name
was.
out there.
Yep, to get her name like blah 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 at Kim Kardashian, just drinking out of my big shot plastic sippy cup, whatever they have, and yeah, she'd get like 20 grand. So she would make more than a lot of us make in a year off of one tweet. That's fucking sick, by the way. That
That
is
is
sickening. But yeah,
insane.
insane. Dave, what do you have any thoughts on the Kardashian? Now I'm in Star Trek mode now. I got to stop. I got to get out of that. Vulcan neck myself. Ugh. Okay, I'm good.
No, I mean, like I said, it's one of those where if you say her name, you know who she is. It's unfortunate, how she's here with, the some of these names. You're like, but you have to, say what you got to do, man. She kind of has to be on here just because of the big, drastic, I don't
Yeah.
want to say movement, but just everything she's done in reality TV. Her line, like it's just she's mainstream at this point, and
She
you
is.
can't go anywhere without hearing. Now with her divorce with Kanye.
Yeah. He's Kanye headed east now, So um if you look at Kim Kardashian, she looks like if a turtle and like a flea had a baby, like that, but it was beautiful. That's what it would be. Because I was looking at her, I'm like, does she look like a flea or does she look like a turtle? And I'm thinking, no, she, she is. She's the product of like some other alien world that like the flea people and the turtle people got together, and like like
They're just trying to take over Earth.
trying to take over Earth. So there you go. Lisa, yes, there are. What was that comment down there, Dave? Yes, there are Tim Hortons up here. We have them down about I don't know, 15 minutes away in Halstead. Also, about 25 minutes away on 81 up by Castle Creek, and there's a few around here that of Tim Hortons. They're a more northern chain, obviously, Canadian chain, but they come about as far about this way. But
So if I'm at an airport
you're in an airport.
and because I've this is the only time I've ever seen a Tim Hortons is at an airport. If I'm at an airport and I have the options between Tim Hortons, Starbucks, and Dunkin',
hmm
what am I supposed to be picking?
You immediately go to Tim Hortons and you get a large coffee with cream and 2 sugars. And
That's all. It's strictly
you will
coffee.
be
Like if I want a croissant, I'm going to
get it.
Dunkin'.
No. Oh, whoa, Dave. Whoa. Let's stop the elevator. Bing. Hold on a minute. You do want to get a croissant. You do want to get a muffin. You do want to get a donut. You can even get a breakfast sandwich. I mean, they're good. But I'm in it for the coffee because I love coffee, and Tim Hortons is my favorite coffee. Then the coffee is phenomenal. I mean, it's not like I want a twinge of butternut on the back of my tongue, and it has like a lemongrass aftertaste. No, man, I want a cup of freaking coffee. I want to get in my car and I want to go and I want to drink it and I want to be happy with the world. Does everybody want to be happy with the world when they drink their coffee? Come on, everybody! You've got to want that. That is what it's all about, right? Getting your coffee and being happy. I think it depends on how strong you like your coffee. Tim Hortons is pretty strong.
I'm not a big coffee drinker, so
You're not a big. They have iced coffee too, Dave. They have
okay,
iced
I like
coffee
that.
too.
See, I like that. I like iced coffee.
And by the way, their iced coffee is. If I was the Godfather, I would rank it one of the best ever.
So
And I know that's a horrible.
did John Lennon just become the Godfather?
That was the best. I think so, Dave. I have no idea what happened there. John
All
Lennon, the
right,
Godfather.
let's move on. We got a couple more of these.
Okay.
Next up we have another musician. It's known as the King. It is none other than Mr. Elvis Presley.
Jailhouse Rock. Hey, listen. You don't even need. This guy doesn't even need an introduction. Elvis needs no introduction. I like some Elvis songs. I like a few movies that he put on. You ever see the old Elvis movies, Dave?
I did not.
Do yourself a favor, well, you don't have winter down there, so you're never stuck inside. Okay, like this summer when it's like 312 degrees out and like the concrete is like melting, so then you're staying inside. Get on Netflix or get on Amazon or something like that. And you know what? You're actually the Stream Wars Pro. So the Stream Pro. So whatever network, you know how to search it out. Find Blue Hawaii and Clambake. There's some fantastic Elvis movies. They're really
Blue
fun.
Hawaii.
Yeah, isn't it Blue Hawaii?
I'm
I know
telling you right
Clambake
now.
definitely one of them. Clambake's
Yep, he's in
definitely
it.
one of them. Yep. And
Okay.
Lisa's saying Dunkin' Donuts is weak compared to Starbucks. It is. I would say Dunkin' Donuts is the working man coffee, and Starbucks is the hipster coffee. That's just there's no other way to put it. Um, I like Starbucks. I love Starbucks. But I like Dunkin' Donuts too. Um,
What isn't that the which was it the that you like that we did the tasting? You like the Starbucks one, right? The most?
the most the iced one, yeah. And you like the Dunkin' one, the mocha, right?
Actually, didn't I pick, I think I picked Coke. The
Oh,
Coke
you
one.
like the Coke. You like the Coke one. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Remember how long we didn't sleep after
Yep.
that? Oh, but anyway, let's get back to Elvis. Elvis is an icon. Elvis was the Hulk Hogan of rock and blues music back in the 50s. And then kind of he got drafted and he kind of like was laid low for a while, and then he came back, made some movies because music obviously changed because of the Beatles. And then Elvis at the end of the 60s had a surge in music, and he started selling out like he'd go to hey man, go to Las Vegas, baby. Hey, and he did all those live Vegas shows. He did tours. He was in Binghamton over here. I mean, and right up to the time of his death, I mean, this guy was just going and going. And I mean, he's the king. He's the king of rock and roll. There's no disputing that. Michael Jackson's the king of pop. This guy's the king of rock and roll. Hulk Hogan's the king of
Absolutely.
wrestling.
And
Howard Stern's the
if
king of
he
all
wanted
media.
to be if he wanted to like smooth it down as well, he could.
Yeah.
He could slow it down for you, and he sounded still amazing.
Oh, Elvis. I mean, it's like, oh, I got 3 words, Dave. Love me tender. That's it. Teddy bear. You ever hear them? It's like his voice is like this giant a million mile long velvet carpet that you're just like coasting on, and it's like love me tender, love me true. You know, it's beautiful. Elvis, thank you, Elvis. And by the way, Elvis is still alive. I know he is, and I didn't see him at J.C. Penney, and he doesn't work at Burger King. He runs a car wash down in Carbondale, PA, and I know he does this because my buddy Frank goes down. He drives all the way down there to wash his car. I mean, he's weird. I don't know. I don't know why you'd drive 50 miles to wash your car, because isn't it going to get dirty on the way back?
Yeah, on the way back with the mosquitoes.
Yeah, and the dirt roads and shit. I mean, Dave, these mountains are treacherous. This isn't an easy ride. But Elvis works. Well, he did work. Maybe he owns it. I don't know. But I'm telling you, this guy's Elvis. There's no doubt he's like 84 years old now. But like when he walks up to you, he's like, "Hey man, what you need change for? What you got, a 5? Hey, I'll give you change." And he's like, "Hey, look at this quarter here, man. Isn't that cool?" And he's just throwing it. And one day he goes, "Hey, look at that. Hey, Mississippi. Ooh, oh, hey, I've been there." Ooh. I'm like, wow. I was like, this guy is Elvis. So yeah, Elvis works in Carbondale at a car wash. I'm fairly positive.
If you see him, snap that picture.
Yeah, get that selfie. Dave, who's next?
All right, next up we have another gentleman that kind of, I mean, I don't think he ever intended to do it, but it's kind of taking over the world with the company he created. That is none other than Mr. Walt Disney.
Oh my God. I think Walt Disney had vision. Okay, Walt Disney had vision. Walt Disney knew that animation and this type of entertainment, the writing and the animation and in general was going to go leaps and bounds. And production wise, for movies and stuff like that, and attractions. I mean, this guy was a marketing genius. And you notice that, like, of course he appeals to kids, but he took like nursery rhymes and made them both child and adult oriented. Like if you really read like the Little Mermaid or like some of these like grim fairy tales, like
Oh yeah,
they're
they're
not
dark.
they're not good. No, I mean, if somebody gets butchered and their head cut off all the
Or was
time,
it?
and
Isn't it with like Cinderella where the stepsisters try to cut off like their feet to try to make their foot fit in the glass slipper?
I think so, yeah. And I think at some point in the real story, like she tries to make him drink Drano and something else. So they're terrible, terrible books. But Walt Disney was smart enough to come up with these characters: a mouse, a duck. What's Goofy? A ferret? I mean, I don't know what he is.
He's supposed to be a dog.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
Goofy's a cow.
That's what people say, but I don't think he's a cow. I think he's a dog.
Lauren thinks he's a cow. You really think he's a cow, babe? Anyway, okay, so Goofy's the cow dog. So, but my God, Dave, from 1940 to
Well,
now.
I got you now with this goose. So it says on
Uh-oh.
his
Goofy,
wiki,
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Goofy is a tall anthropomorph. Oh my God, I can't say this word. Anthropomorphic dog.
Anthropomorphic dog.
I don't know what that means.
Anthropomorphic means he's a walking, talking, human, moving dog.
Got it. So he's a dog, but because it makes sense because you have Pluto who is just a normal dog
So,
and doesn't talk.
so Pluto's a dumb dog. No, I'm sorry. Let me. Whoa. Let me rewind. Let's rewind. Goofy's a dumb dog. Pluto's a dumber dog. What I get wrong here? I mean, this is ridiculous. Walt, why did you do this to us? And then remember the Mickey enemy, Pete? Remember him? That big, huge, hairy guy. Got a dog like this.
Oh yes,
You know what he is?
he's not
He's
a dog.
He's a cat.
What?
He's a cat, Pete, the big ugly guy. He's a cat. I'm telling you.
Really?
I didn't dream this. I know I'm right. I have to be right. I've got to be right on this. Pete, the Mickey Mouse enemy, is a cat. Big Pete. Like,
Are you you sure he's a cat?
I think he's a cat. I really do. Check. You look into that. And I'll give you a Walt Disney anecdote. So there's conjecture and rumor and innuendo that I believe
God,
is
he's a cat.
he is. I knew it. I was right. Hey, he's a cat. Am I right? So, yeah,
He's a cat.
he's a cat. Pete's a cat.
My mind was just blown right now. I thought they were all dogs.
I thought I did too. But if you look close at Pete, he's got like the whiskers, the little kitty whiskers that come out, and like his ears are shaped different. So it's like he'd either have to be like a really fat Boston Terrier or he's a big cat. But Dave, did you know? I got my Colonel Sanders cane here. Yeah. That Walt Disney's cryogenically frozen head is underneath the Florida theme park somewhere in that vast underground network of tunnels. There's like this secret room where they have like all the secret stuff, and like I honestly think his head is frozen cryogenically. They wanted to keep his head. I think he's smiling too. I think he's chewing
What?
gum actually.
What? Oh gosh, why would they want his head?
I don't know. You got to understand, this is Disney, and they're all weird. Like there's nothing. I mean,
So like, if you're going through the tunnels one day and you're just like, okay, I'm trying to get to work or something, trying to make sure no one sees me, and then you just go into the wrong room, you might just go into the room with Walt's head in it.
You might. Here's the scenario, Dave. You work at Disney. You work at Disney World. Is it Disney World down there or Disneyland?
World.
Disney World. It's Walt Disney World. You're responsible for the Pirates of the Caribbean. You got like a little control center, and you're responsible for this and that and the other thing. So it's break time. So you walk down these ominous stairs, and you go down into like the subterranean alien world that they've created, and So you get on the little like monorail thing, you go, and you go down to the cafeteria area, and then, but you didn't realize that you pushed 6 instead of 7, so it stopped at the stop before, and you get out because of course everything looks the same, you get out and you walk into this room and you're like, I think I want a soda and then maybe a sandwich, and you think the room you're going into is the right one, but you open it up, and right there, as soon as you open it up, staring at you, chewing gum, is Walt Disney's frozen head. I'm telling you, it's down there. It's got to be down there. I know it is. And the other thing is, the other thing is, thank you, by the way, audience, thank you. The other thing is they say that there was an accident on, I can't remember what ride. It's one of the rides that goes like into a tunnel and comes back out again and goes whatever. That somebody not only died, like got electrocuted, but they never found the body. So there's like a mysterious like crypt in like dead entombed person in the park somewhere, like some girl, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some fucked up shit at Disney World, and it's not Walt's fault, because I guess Walt, even though I heard he was a Nazi, it was cool. Like, you know, like he was just into the fun. I know he's not a Nazi. They said he was, but he made anti-Nazi stuff, so he can't be a Nazi. You ever hear that one? Though, that he was a Nazi. People think he was a Nazi sympathizer.
Yeah, I have heard that he is anti-Semitic.
Well, if he's anti-Semitic, that's not cool. But you know, I don't want to go into that whole thing. But he did make anti-Hitler. Like, remember he made Donald Duck like beat up Nazis or something, or screw everything up over there. So, and whether he was doing that to save face or not, whatever. I mean, I'm sure that all that entertainment industry was filled with giant racists back in the day. I mean, there had to have been. But no, Walt had no idea he was going to create this like juggernaut of a media empire, and maybe he had vision to see that was coming. I just think he wanted to entertain people. He smoked like 5 packs of cigarettes a day. But he made some really, really cool things. Like he made the educational videos, made the movies. Dave, I've been to Disney World. It was back in 1983, probably when there was like 7 rides and like 1 stand. But I remember Epcot was being built when I was there. It was not open yet.
Wow.
And
you just gave everyone out there your age.
I did. Well, it had to happen sooner or later. But for those of you wondering, excuse me, I'm drinking too much of this diet, or not diet, it's Mountain Dew SA. No, when I went down there, there was no Epcot, there was no like whatever, but guess what was there? The Pirates of the Caribbean. And I actually got to go through that. I went through the Hall of Presidents, or whatever they call that. I went through It's a Small World. I went through a bunch of other ones. But Dave, what is your favorite thing to do when you go to Walt Disney World?
Wow, this is gonna probably
That's a tough
off.
one.
I mean, I don't think it's a tough one for me, but it's just gonna sound bad to the audience.
Oh,
So-
so I'm all for it.
You haven't been to Epcot, obviously, because you said the last time you went, it was being built. But Epcot has a thing called the Food and Wine Festival.
Ooh.
And their main thing is like the showcase of the world. So you have, think of like the whole park is like a big circle, and around the circle you have different worlds. So you have Mexico, or different countries. Mexico, Germany, Italy, France, the USA, and in all these, they have, for this festival, they have like different foods from these different places, and they have other like little countries that they'll put in the middle of
Wow.
them, and you get to try them, you get to try the different drinks, food, and then you end up extremely full and probably more than a little bit more buzzed than you would expect, and it's a lot of fun. You get to experience different new things, and they also have rides. They have the test track, they have Mission Space, believe now they have a
Really?
Frozen and Ratatouille ride, so it's I like
Really?
Epcot, so that's one of my favorite things to do if I'm going to Disney.
You want to hear something cool? And this is going to correlate and link directly to your story. When I was there and it was being built, that big globe thing,
Yo, that's
remember
right. I forgot the ball.
the ball, it was like you could like see like it was like not completed yet. It was really, really, really cool. Really bizarre, but really cool. And
That
like when
is.
you went by, like when you got close to like by where like it said coming soon, Epcot, and we're like, I'm thinking like, what the hell? I didn't think that when I was
What does
7.
that mean?
Yeah, but no, my mom was cool. She bought me a Donald Duck. Um,
Like the one in the picture that Walt holding?
kind of. It resembles that actually. Yeah, it's a plushie. Because I like plushies, I still do. Um, a plushie Donald Duck. She got me. I remember, and it was Walt Disney World. And I stayed in Kissimmee, Florida, and it was kind of getting busy then, but not. Like it was still kind of local touristy trappy, and it wasn't like probably the megalopolis that it is now.
Yeah, now it's insane.
It's probably ridiculous, but it was like one strip, like probably about a mile long, and you had a few little hotels, and you had a few little or motels actually. There weren't really hotels. There was like maybe one hotel and like a bunch of little motels, and it was really really cool. Like it was small,
Uh,
like
I would definitely love to see you go back now just to see like your shock and amazement of how different things are now.
dude, I would
Because
love
then
to.
not
You
only
know,
do you have that, you also have downtown Disney, which is like almost like a whole world on its own.
wow, I didn't even. You know what we need to do when I come down? We need to go, and you need to document it. You and I need to document the whole thing, like with a real camera. We'll do a real like
Yes, like little
remote
vlogs.
little vlogs, and we'll put them all together, and we'll do like an episode of like our visit to Disney World. That'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah,
The,
it's
the
gonna
audience loves
happen.
that idea.
They do like that. I thank you, audience. That's gonna happen. So Dave, that's Walt Disney. I have a feeling that we have a few left. Are we getting near the end here?
Yes, we actually I cut off a couple of these and we're gonna do one more.
We're gonna do one more, and I got a feeling. I have a strong feeling that this man is among the goats on this list.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been nicknamed the GOAT. He had a documentary, a 10-part series documentary about himself. And it is none other than LeBron James. No, I'm kidding, guys. It's not LeBron James. It's Michael Jordan.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, here it is. Yes, thank you for that because we're not worthy. Dave, I'm just gonna say a few things and I'm gonna let you expound on Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan is the absolute greatest basketball player of all time, bar none to me. Um, I don't think LeBron's great. I think if LeBron played with the 88, 89 era any team, whether it be the Celtics, the Pistons, the Bulls, the Sixers, he would get his little bitch ass hurt and pushed around. I mean, you got to think about something. You got Rodman, you got you trying to play on Jordan, you got Bill Laimbeer, you got all these guys that and Larry Bird, McHale, Barkley. Come on, like LeBron would not last in this league at all. This era, my opinion.
No, and I mean, if you look at both eras of basketball, you can definitely say that because back then you weren't getting the calls that you get now where, you get bumped and it's a flagrant one or a flagrant two.
Yeah,
But then maybe this style that like Ewing, your Rodmans, all these like tough guys used to play, if you bring them now, they might fall out of a game in like 5 minutes, or
in
maybe
five
they're
minutes.
just not as dominant because they can't just push you around because they push you around and they might call a foul. But I
Hey,
will say that I think that Michael Jordan is the all-time greatest in basketball, just because, man, what he did is still astronomical.
And that you brought up an interesting picture here of Michael Jordan. This is an iconic. Um, I believe this is from the 88, 89 slam dunk contest
Yeah, I believe so
from
too.
the All-Star break. This man, do yourselves a favor, everybody out there in internet land. Go to YouTube, look up, just look up iconic Michael Jordan dunks, and you'll probably have
You'll see
a
this one.
you'll see that one on any whatever list. And you know, there's a lot of basketball that you should like. There's a must watch basketball. Like you need to watch Larry Bird doing the 3 point competition, and
Hmm.
I think that same year, maybe the year after,
Well,
you need
him and Dominique going at it in the dunk contest. Him and Jordan.
Jordan and Dominic. That was insane. And Dave, how about this? I'm going to blow your mind. I saw that live as it happened.
No kidding.
I watched it when it happened. I mean, we just couldn't wait. Like we were big basketball fans. We liked all sports, my buddies and I. But like we particularly liked because you got to remember, I grew up in a really unique era where I had like I had Michael Jordan, I had Wayne Gretzky, I had Bo Jackson, I had all these guys that were like just unbelievable, unbelievable sports stars, and like we were just like surrounded by all this greatness, and it was just an amazing time to be a sports fan, an amazing time to watch sports. Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, um, Magic Johnson, Kareem
Magic Kareem.
Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, dude, it was I could go on and on and on forever. Mario Lemieux, Cal Ripken Jr. Oh my God, Barry. Okay, okay. Well, then you got the beginning of Barry Bonds. You got Canseco, McGuire, all these guys like Randy Johnson. I mean, I just got to see all of these things come to fruition and be. It was just an amazing time, and MJ encompasses all of that because MJ represents that era for me. Represents that I get that like that
Eh,
feeling of when I was like 11 to like 14. You know what I mean? It's like and that
Yeah,
really heartfelt feeling.
he did a lot. I mean, if you think about it, like I mean, besides basketball, did the movies. He did Space Jam is still one of those movies. You're like, okay, I want to watch it. It's good. You have all the commercials he did. I want to be like Mike. Like you wanted to get his shoes. It's still to this day, his shoes are some of the top selling, and people go out there and they try to get them and try to get them. They'll go out there. I remember when I was younger. Now it's different because you have the computer. But before you would have to go and camp out at like a Foot Locker, like on Saturday morning, Friday night to Saturday morning, so you can be one of the first ones to get the Jordan 23s or whatever limited edition Jordan came out.
Exactly, and dude, he there's nothing you can't say about Michael. He's fucking Michael Jordan, man. He was like I said, I get weepy, like a little misty because like he when I see like him and I see like you said like Dominique Wilkins, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, um, like Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, those Bo Jackson, guys like that. Like when I watch old stuff and I see old clips, it brings me back to that time. Like, you know, there was no internet, there was no like I had to buy like the sporting news and the newspaper we had to get every day. Like we read the newspaper, man, for stats, like box scores and all that stuff. We had to keep our own,
I know
and
that
and it
that's
was
that's I mean that's something a lot of people don't know about nowadays. Just like if you wanted to go to the movies, how did you find out? You
you had
looked
to
at the newspaper.
you had to look at the newspaper, or if you happened to be down by the marquee and saw what was coming, you know.
But besides that, if you wanted to tell me, oh, I want to go to the movies, like you'd have to go look at the newspaper. Okay, what movie theater? Bam.
Yep, that's it. And then you had to work for everything, man. Everything required a little effort, and now it requires so little effort to do anything. A little bit of magic has been lost, you know. A little magic has been gained technology-wise, but a little magic has been lost, perhaps, you know, humanly. You know what I mean? I didn't mean to get this profound at the end of the show, but I guess it had to be done. which I think, Dave, we have reached the end of the show.
We have.
We've had what a great time. First and foremost, Dave, I want to thank our live audience that we were subject and honored to have. Thank you for having us. Thank you for everything. So cheers to you. Thank you. Thank you. That was
It was
really
all
great.
of you. All of you.
And Dave, thanks for as always being the greatest producer of all time. Why don't you, audience, one more time give producer Dave a round of applause? He deserves it. So come on, I want to hear it. Thank you, thank you. That means a lot to me. You doing that for him, Dave. It was a great show. What do we got going on? Real quick, we'll give a rundown. You got anything going on this week on the network?
Nope, I'm not. I'm back next week. 4-quarter show on Tuesday. Just Too
Sweet.
Sweet as well.
Okay. So we're doing
A to Z
just
are-
Too Sweet, and then you're doing 4 quarters.
Yes.
Okay. A to Z is most likely going to be Sunday. If it's not, it will be Monday. But we're going to figure that out. We tried the Sunday slot. We may go back to the Monday slot. We don't know. This Wednesday slot's kind of nice. So, but when the Giant Show comes back, we're probably going to get booted off that. But we will have a finite night to bring you this. It's just summertime's crazy with everybody. Dave's busy. I'm busy. The boss is busy. Everybody is going around. So we do flip-flop a lot. We apologize for it. So keep up with us. Get on popculturepros.com. Become a group member of the Pop Culture Pros group. You'll find out everything you want to know about every show, the 4 quarters show, the A to Z program, the Just Too Sweet show, the Put It in the Book show, which is the flagship show, Granny's Peach Tea, the Empire 161, the Stream Wars. I'm not going to say it wrong, Dave. What is it?
Stream War Pros.
Stream War Pros. These guys bring you not just what's going on with the latest streaming services, but the two girls that are with Dave are class A yackers, and they can just bring something from here and just throw it out into the world where it doesn't even matter anymore. Like, apparently,
Yes, they make me look good.
Dave, you're like, I mean, not that you already are not. I mean, you're phenomenal, but Dave, it's like watching like Dan Rather with like Conan O'Brien and Andy Richter. That's you know what I mean? So, and just so everybody knows, apparently I'm in Arizona now. So that we found that out from the Stream War Pros. But
That
anyway,
was great.
that was awesome. That was so good. I don't know if it was Gia or Nardo who said. I think
It was
Nardo.
Nardo.
But
It was Nardo.
I think Gia kind of like, oh, you know, and so it was kind of like, oh, look, there's a bird. Where's the bird? You know, it's like in there, Arizona, and it's like Arizona. So that was so good. That was great. But anyway, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. We'd like to thank our live audience that was kind enough to have us. Dave, thank you for being the greatest
My
producer
pleasure.
ever. Dave and I are also co-hosts on the Just Too Sweet show, and we also do the Shooting the Shit shows once in a while, so keep in tune for that. A to Z program will continue next week, and the A to Z program is produced by none other than this guy here, David Waukee. The executive producer is Steve Faraci. My name is Eric Zant. I am your host. I am the one with the most bullshit, and I will be back next week with my partner in crime, with all of you, and I thank you. I want everybody to have a pleasant and wonderful week. Do something good for somebody, and if you don't, do something bad. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
This guy. No, really. It's